This is part 2 of Beast of Burden. Get me out of here, Liam. We need to get to the doctors now. I have to get this thing out of me. In her panic, her foot missed the step stool and she tumbled to the cold floor. Nurse, the technician yelled, backing out of the way. Liam pushed past the guy, hooking his hands under his wife's armpits and pulling her up. Relax, Mallory. You're going to hurt yourself. What's wrong? Are you in pain? Is there something wrong with the baby? Eyes wide, she clung to his shoulders. Didn't you see it? That's not a baby. It's a monster, she began to wail. It took Liam, the nurse, 20 minutes and the threat of sedation to calm her down. Take her home, get some rest. The nurse pressed a card into his hand. Some women go into prenatal psychosis. Get her help, for her sake and the baby's. He nodded, rubbing Mallory's back. Come on, hun, let's go. Mallory's eyes searched his. She wanted to scream. You really didn't see it? 12 weeks, don't you get it? It's not human, it's not ours. But she'd never told him of the nightmare that plagued her during the coma. She followed him to the car, head down, saying nothing, biding her time. Inside her belly, the thing rolled, pressed its cold flesh against her womb, pinching at her with its tiny claws. Mallory ground her teeth together, humming a ditty in her head. Hush, little beast, soon you'll be gone. They entered the apartment, Liam's hand clutching her elbow. Mallory darted into the kitchen for a reprieve from his closeness. I'm fine, she said. Please go back to work. I'll stay home and have a nap. No way. He leaned against the stove. Mal, look at me. She glanced over her shoulder, fiddling with the kettle. I'm fine. You're not fine. What was that? Mallory. He grabbed her upper arm, forcing her to stop and face him. We've dreamed of this day. What's going on? You can tell me. Pinching the bridge of her nose, she said, Must be all the new hormones I'm flooded with. I'm really tired is all. She took his hand, squeezing his fingers. I'll have a bath and a nap. You get back to work, okay? Make your tea and I'll run the tub for you, he replied, planting a soft kiss on her forehead. God damn it, he won't give me a moment's peace anymore. She made her tea, which she didn't even want, and removed her clothes in the bedroom before entering the bathroom in her terry cloth robe. Thanks. Here, I'll help you in, Liam offered, hand extended. Please, she pleaded. Can I have some alone time? His nostrils flared back at her. Fine. Sorry my trying to help you has been so hard on you. He huffed, stomping out of the room. About fucking time, she whispered to herself and locked the door. Dropping the robe to the floor, she touched her belly. Now what to do about this? She opened the medicine cabinet. Tums, aspirin, vitamins, shit. Nothing here will abort a kid. Disheartened, she picked up the pink disposable razor and put it down. She noticed the loofah hanging above the tub with its long wooden handle. Taking it from the hook, she slid into the hot water and closed her eyes. For the love of Christ, let this work. Mallory pressed the handle, string and all, into herself. She sunk lower, bent her knees, and closed her eyes. 1, 2, 3. She plunged it fast into herself, instantly screaming at the searing pain that tore up her spine, throughout her abdomen and into her sides. She curled upon herself, sinking into the pink, bloody water. The hours after were hell for her. Liam yelled, called her names, and accused her of murder. He'd even told her, if you killed our baby, I'll make sure you're charged and thrown in jail. Whatever happened to my body, my choice? Her own thoughts were a jumble of what ifs. What if I am crazy? What if there had been no beast? What if? And before she could articulate anything to anyone, she found herself strapped to a table and all her thoughts melted away with whatever they injected into her veins. Through a haze, she heard Liam say, Safe for the baby? A deeper voice replied, Olanzapine is perfectly safe, and your wife will be calmer. Perhaps dozy and confused, but she won't harm herself anymore. Keep a close eye on her and everything will be fine. Mallory tried to open her eyes and found she couldn't. She wanted to talk, to speak for herself, to tell them the truth that the baby wasn't human. She moaned and felt the weight of darkness pulling her down. A presence in the room woke her. Fighting grogginess, she blinked at the surrounding dimness. Where am I? She tried to roll over and found her arms held fast. Lifting her head, she made out pale straps, which bound her wrists to the metal rails of a bed. The gadgets surrounding her indicated she was back in the hospital. The sound of a wet mop sliding across the floor froze her breath. What was that? Hello? She whispered, wondering if a janitor was in the small washroom, even though in the dark that wouldn't make sense. A hiss of air came from the floor beside her, and Mallory's heart flipped in her chest. Oh God, no, it's back. She pulled at the straps as thin, oily fingers reached up and touched her arm. Mallory's body locked up. Her muscles refused to move. Her tongue pressed against the roof of her mouth, and all she could do was stare in horror as its head appeared at her shoulder. What do you want? She screamed inside her head. As though in response, the demon's icy fingers curled over the blankets below her chin, drawing them down. Mallory's jaw clenched hard, shooting pain up her face and temples. Her adrenaline pumped furiously, demanding her body into fight or flight, and because she was unable to do either, beads of sweat soaked through the sheets, while her body went into a fit of shivers. When it lifted her gown, she thought, just kill me already. But she was unable to tear her eyes away as the bump inside her belly rose toward its touch. A scream finally tore from her throat as the demon's teeth began click-clacking with apparent joy. Seconds later, blinding lights flicked on and 2 nurses stormed into the room. Time no longer existed for Mallory. Her days were marked off by wake up, take a pill, stare out the window, chew the food brought to her lips, take another pill, get washed, and succumb to darkness. 7 months disappeared without her knowledge until the day the cramps came. She bared her teeth, clutching at her extended belly. It's time, you bastard. Come get your demon seed. One of her day nurses called out, Mallory's in labor. Call Liam. I'll take her down. They rushed her from the psych ward to maternity. The day nurse patted her shoulder. Relax, Mallory. It'll be all over soon and you'll be back to yourself in no time. Yeah, all over for you when the beast is free to kill you all. Soon, Liam was at her side, holding a cold cloth to her forehead. Come on, Mal, you have to push. Push for the baby's sake. She stared up at the man she once loved. The man who locked her up in the loony bin and forced her to have the unwanted birth. Fuck you, Liam, she said. He didn't hear her over the doctor's voice. The head's out, one last push. She refused to push, and the baby slipped out anyway. Congratulations, it's a girl. The doctor brought the red, screaming beast to her chest. Mallory turned her head in disgust, and Liam grabbed the wriggling thing. Look, Mal, it's a girl. We've always wanted a girl. She rolled away from them and watched the pitted eyes of the demon appear in the shadowed corner.